Good evening. This is the business. No, it isn't. It's a Wyndham Region Chamber of Commerce show. How's that? I don't know how I got business connections, but I'm not sure how I got that one.
I thought that's what we called it.
That's what you called it?
That's our official
Boy,
title.
I guess I'm just slipping today. How's
Welcome
that,
to
Dan?
Business Connections.
It's Business
right?
Connection, right? So brought to you by the Wyndham Region Chamber of Commerce and Energize CT and CT Paid Leave. If it doesn't show, Dan and I have a great time on the show. We really do. Anyways, I'm Ernie Eldridge, and I'm one of the co-hosts of the show here. E.S. Eldridge Auctioneers, and I'm kind of off, not kilter tonight. My co-host is Dan McClintock here. He's sitting right next to me on the left-hand side. Owner of McClintock Roofing and president of the Chamber of Commerce. We do have a couple of guests. We've got Christina Damato calling in on energy resources. Dan, maybe you can do better than I can.
I'll give it a go.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, all right. Oscar Rivera from Rivera Construction's going to be in later on in our show. I am going to move on to let's thank our sponsors. All right, the Chamber would like to thank the sponsors of our show, Energize CT and Connecticut Paid Leave. I know you have been listening to me talk about the Energize CT program for months, and you probably are bombarded with different energy companies about different programs and services. The Chamber is not a company selling you something. We hear all the time that energy bills are high, so we decided to get involved and find out how we can help both businesses and residents. If you have not had an energy assessment done on your home or business within the last 6 years, you really need to do so. There are so many new incentives, it's crazy. Like, for example, if you are a family of 2 and your combined income is less than $62,460, or a family of 4 with a combined income of less than $91,854, then you are eligible for even more incentives like insulation, windows, new heat pumps, and you won't even have to pay a fee for the assessment. If you're interested in learning more or setting up an assessment, you can contact the Chamber or you can go to energizect.com. The Chamber is also a Connecticut Paid Leave community educator, and we are here to assist employees with applications. So many employees still do not know all the details about this program or how or when to apply. We are here to walk you through the process, help you plan for your leave, especially if you're having a baby, have a serious medical issue, or are taking care of somebody else with a medical issue. And we can't promote this enough. If you work for yourself, you are a sole proprietor. What will happen if you get sick or injured? Do you have a short-term disability policy? The Connecticut Paid Leave Program is a way to help you when you are not able to work. You can enroll easily and for less than private policies. The cost is a small percentage of your income. If you would like assistance or have questions about your eligibility or how to apply, email us at info@wyndhamchamber.com, or you can call or text at 860-423-6389.
Thanks, Dan. I think we should try to thank our corporate sponsors here, because without them, we would not have a show and a lot of different programming go on and community outreach. McClintock Roofing, Hartford Healthcare, Chelsea Groton Bank, Eastern Connecticut State University, Fine Federal Dispensary, Renee's Cleaning Service, Farmer's Cow Cafe and Creamery, Pristine Power Washing, E.S. Eldridge Auctioneer, that's me, Green's Lawn Care and Landscaping, and Graduate Stores. There's always some veteran news, I think, Dan, am I correct?
There is. So a couple of quick reminders for our veterans. Eastern Connecticut Veterans Center Coffee House meets every Wednesday from 9 to 11 at the Masonic Lodge. That's at 375 Boston Post Road in North Windham. The Robert Slate Memorial Veterans Commissary is now at 1010 Main Street in the lower level, every Tuesday 1 to 5 p.m. and Wednesday 11 to 2 p.m. Veterans will need to park in the lower parking lot behind the building and walk up to the Chamber building. We are currently looking for someone to lead our veteran group, like the coffee house, the commissary. It's a part-time job. You must have a driver's license, be able to speak in front of people, have some experience working with volunteers, be very organized, and not be afraid of fundraising. It's a very rewarding job with flexible hours. If you are interested, please send an email and resume to info@wyndhamchamber.com. I've also got some chamber news. If you are interested in starting a business or already in business and want to expand, you will need to grow your customer base. And what's the best way to do that? Word of mouth, of course. The Windham Region Chamber of Commerce has been helping businesses grow since 1887. We provide general and industry-specific opportunities to network with colleagues or potential customers. And we, as well as our members, are great resources for business services such as great prices and service on insurance, IT support, office supplies, retirement plans for our employees, HR support, and marketing assistance. In addition, the Chamber provides members with the marketing package that is valued way above membership dues, promoting members via newspaper, radio, newsletter, social media, and direct referrals. For more information on how we can help you, call us at 860-423-6389 or send an email to info@windhamchamber.com. This Thursday at 12:30, our Health and Wellness Council will be meeting for lunch at Windham Hospital. Lunch is sponsored by Carlson ProCare, but if you are a wellness professional and would like to attend, please be sure to RSVP at windhamchamber.com. Saturday, August 1st at 9 a.m., next weekend that is, there is an open house and ribbon cutting for Egg and Cheese. They have new hours and a new menu. Be sure to be there.
That's a great place to be.
We love them.
I do. I
gotta
know. I
love
see you in
Hannah
there
over
all
there.
the time.
Right?
You're absolutely right. They have a great time. They got a great, their own marketing. I mean, they're just everywhere. They really are.
They are,
So.
yes.
But we have a nice guest on the phone here, Christine Damato of Energy Resources. She's been on the show a few times. Christina, you there? Hang on, hold on. I got to put on my earphones. Go ahead. You there, Christine?
I'm here. Hey.
Christina, hi. This is Ernie. Nice to have you on the show again. I know you've been on quite a few times, and you always have a good story to tell about how you can help small businesses save a bunch of money on their utility bills by participating in Energize CT's small business program. Tell us about the program, would you?
Yeah, I'd love to. So I work for Energy Resources. We are an authorized contractor of the Energize Connecticut programs and have partnered with the Windham Chamber of Commerce Energy Smart campaign, where we are helping businesses become educated on the energy efficiency programs that are available to them. Essentially, in short, any business owner can call to no cost, no obligation, and assessment for their facility to help identify ways to conserve energy. And there's funding available through programs businesses to leverage and put back into their building.
So how would you call a small business? What is a large business and what is a small business? Let's put it that way.
Good
Okay.
question.
Yep.
Sure. So different tiers in the program. Anyone with a commercial meter can call and get a no-cost assessment. The level that incentive that's tied to the project is based on your usage. So there are micro businesses, they're called, small businesses, large commercial, industrial. That's not something anyone needs to worry about. We'll figure out what programs you fit into. If you are operating a business, if you are leasing a space and you are the person getting the electric bill, you're the one that can leverage the program, and you have an opportunity to just explore ways to save money on your utility costs within your space.
Now, let's say that, like my business, it's included in the lease, to be very honest with you. I've leased there for 35 years. Everybody told me I should have bought a building by now. But anyways, does the landlord have any chance to use this program, or is it strictly just a small business owner? Just curiosity.
No, both. Whoever holds the electric bill. So if your utilities are included in your rent and there's upgrades that you think you would benefit from in the space, I'm happy to connect with landlords and discuss the programs with them. Or if you are leasing the space and you hold the electric bill, you're able to schedule the assessment. So either way, we can work with whoever holds the utility bill.
Now, how easy is it to participate, and is there any cost? You said there's no cost for you to come out and take a look, but I'm sure there's some kind of cost somewhere along the line.
Yeah, so another good question. There's no cost for the assessment. And having an energy assessment done of your space is a really easy lift. It's just a matter of scheduling a time that's convenient for you. I typically ask folks to hour to walk through the building and kind of get a lay of the land and identify any potential opportunities. If we do identify anything that could be implemented in the space, something like converting to LED lighting and adding controls, adding insulation in that, stripping on doors, putting in Wi-Fi programmable thermostats, adding insulation around your hot pipe equipment. There's a plethora of things that can be done. When we identify those, our in-house team of engineers develop the project. We submit it to Eversource and basically come back with a proposal that overviews the opportunities in your space, the incentive dollars that Eversource will contribute to that project, and if you have the ability to leverage the 0% on-bill financing where you can use the savings from the project to make an on-bill repayment. So it depends on what measures are being implemented. There are times where there's no out-of-pocket expense to the customer for them to make you need to replace your HVAC equipment. That's a capital expenditure that people are planning for. There is incentive through the program. There is often 0% financing, but there may be some out-of-pocket for that type of upgrade, but still worth exploring what your options are and what funding you can leverage to help with that.
I would think that it sounds to me like if you did some upgrading on a lot of your equipment and so on, you'd save the money that you spent putting it together. Let's put it that way, if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Exactly, yeah, that's the idea.
Right. You're breaking up just a little bit here, so if I don't get you, go for it, Dan.
So if during the assessment, is this something that you could be doing business, customers could be roaming around, people could be doing their manufacturing thing? Can all this be happening while your people are roaming around doing the assessment, or do you need a quiet time?
No, most definitely. We can come while you're be behind the scenes, taking a peek at all the equipment that's there. I really just need someone to kind of walk me through the facility, unlock doors, and show me the spaces that are there. But a lot of that happens in the mechanical room, looking at the lighting and all the areas that are there. But a lot of it is kind of behind the scenes.
Well, it sounds great. It sounds like it's, it isn't a problem where, we have to figure out, give you a few days to do something, and or like Dan said, or you could just, work around it as such. So if you write a proposal, I think you've already talked about help business save money. Do they have to do the project? Let's put it that way. So, if you go in there and you do the assessment, you say you could use some LED lighting, you could use this, you could use this, you could use this, and this is the proposal. Do they have to go forward with it?
No, most definitely not. There's no obligation to do anything.
Okay.
But the hope is that once you see the opportunities that are there and the savings that they can offer you, the majority of people do end up moving forward with the project and leveraging those incentives.
Is there a way to move forward with, say, like if you were to break it out and somebody said, well, really we're not ready to do, say, number 1 and number 6, but maybe we could do the rest. Can you do partial projects, or is this kind of a...
Yes, that's such a good question. That happens often if someone is, say, renovating their space, and so they want to make upgrades in one part of the building and then wait until they have plans for the rest of it to change the lighting in that area or something. We can definitely implement the project in phases and align with the customer's goals.
Now, is there any kind of new incentives for businesses that have come down the pike, let's put it that way, as such, that maybe wasn't here a year or two ago or something?
Yeah, so my piece of advice to everyone is, have you had an energy assessment done in the last 2 years? If it has been longer than that, there may be new technology that has come into the market where there is a new method to implement that wasn't available a few years ago. So anytime you're doing something in a space where you think that you're conserving energy in some way, I always tell folks to reach out and see if there's any incentives available for that. And to that end, the incentives and the programs are always evolving and changing. So just a few months ago, for example, Eversource released a limited time offer where they are incentivizing up to 100% of weatherization upgrades, meaning insulation, windows, air sealing, up to 100% up to $20,000. So they're basically covering the entire cost up to $20,000 to just help incentivize folks to weatherize their facilities better.
Okay, go back to the windows. You're talking about store windows, front windows, that type of thing? Is that what you're talking about?
Exactly.
Okay, so just give me a brief thought about that. Is it that it's losing so much energy through the window is what it is, or?
Yeah, for air leakage that is coming through the windows, and mainly as it pertains to single-pane storefront windows, which there are still quite a few.
Oh, here in Willimantic, I'm sure there's a ton of them on a lot of these old buildings, to be honest with you. Very good. Okay, it's down on my little cheat sheet here, and I'm thinking, okay, ask something about the store windows. So, give us a good example of a business who's participated in how they saved themselves a bunch of money. Can you do that?
Yeah, sure. Happy to. In Windham area, we've had projects done with churches. We've had projects done with Vanderbilt Place. So think of nursing homes, nonprofits, gyms, restaurants. Everyone is operating different types of equipment. Restaurants have a lot of refrigeration, the controls that can be added to that to conserve energy. A place like a nursing home has high hours of operation, right? They probably have their lights on pretty much 24/7 in their main areas of the building. And are running quite a bit of equipment. So taking a look at how to just optimize the efficiency of your running of things in the building. We have insulated small warehouses. We have done a plethora of projects. When I say commercial and small business, it is really anyone that is not in a residential property, anyone with a commercial meter. There is often things that can be done to just make facilities more energy efficient.
Now, you brought something up just quickly, just in your conversation. You talked about nonprofit and a profit business. Is there any difference between the two as far as incentives or that type of thing where, if you're a business and you're in for profit, you show everybody how much you make or how much or whatever, and a nonprofit doesn't? Is there a difference or not, or they all get treated the same?
They all get treated the same. It is a little confusing. They call it the small business program, but nonprofits qualify within that program. So it would be the same thing where we're looking at your usage, different ways to conserve energy in the space and leveraging the same incentives through the small business program.
Yeah, I was going to say, my mom's at St. Joseph's Living Center, and I mean, they use a lot of power type stuff is what you're doing, so and I'm sure they benefit from a survey of yours if you haven't already done something like that. But you talked about churches. I know we have a couple of churches here in town, which I'm sure, they're old and leaky, and if you understand what I'm trying to say, they're with, the old stained glass windows and so on that, will do it. But all of them would benefit from your program. Am I correct?
100%, yes. And there's nothing to lose in the process. I think it's one of those things that, you get your electric bill. It may be higher than you anticipated. You may feel frustrated about it, and you're wondering what you can do to help improve it. And then you pay it and you go on to your day-to-day. You're running your business and you're focused on whatever your mission is, whatever your product is that you have to manufacture, and you forget to schedule an energy assessment.
Yeah, I think people are comfortable that way, right? Yep, go ahead.
Simple thing, right? Yep. You just got to make that phone call, send that email, and it really is just going to take about an hour of your time.
So what is the email, or how would they get a hold of to find out about these programs?
Great question. Folks can go right on the Windham Chamber of Commerce website. There's a tab called Energy Smart.
Yep.
There's a quick 10-second form to fill out, just your name, your email, phone number, and I will follow up and schedule a time for an assessment with you.
That sounds fantastic. Sounds very easy, which is great.
I've got a question. So can we go back to the incentives? So it sounded like there's low-cost loans. Is there grants? It sounded like there's grants that come, or they sounded something like grants. Maybe they're called something different, but you were talking about like a full $20,000 incentive.
Yeah, so you could think of incentive as grants, right? It's funding that's available through the utility programs through the Connecticut Energy Efficiency Fund. So as ratepayers, we all pay into the program that creates the Connecticut Energy Efficiency Fund. As a ratepayer, you have the ability to tap into that program. to use those funds to make energy efficiency upgrades within your facility. So you could definitely think of it as grant funds, but they're called incentives in the program.
Right. So there's a mix of that and loans, correct?
And the utilities offer 0% on-bill financing for anyone that qualifies, and that really is just not being delinquent with your utility bills. So as long as you're up to date with payment, folks typically just automatically get approved for the 0% on-bill repayment. There's no credit, no third-party loan. It is directly through your utility, and it's added as a line item to your electric bill.
Right.
Makes it simple.
Now, you had talked about all the different projects or different places and so on. Now, you said you did Vanderman Place, which, of course, they are a member of the chamber also. And so how big was that project? Let's put it that way. Did you just put in a few lights or something, or did you put in furnaces? Did you, just curiosity, or do you know that or not?
Yeah, we did. We converted all the lighting in the facility to LED fixtures. We added sensors and controls in different areas. We added aerators to the sink to lower the flow of water to conserve energy with, heating the water. I believe we put in Wi-Fi programmable thermostats. We did a few things over there. Not a big mechanical upgrade or anything like that, but they did leverage the incentives through the program and had no out-of-pocket expense to their project. They were able to use the savings from the upgrades to make an on-bill repayment that left them cash flow positive through the whole process. So that was a huge win for them.
That's a plus, that's for sure. There's no doubt about that, that you get all of this and then you don't have to pay for it necessarily. Or it's
right. Well, you're paying for it with your savings is what you're saying?
Right. So by converting the lighting, say, that could have, reduced your electric bill by 20%. Eversource will allow you to make an on-bill repayment that is less than that amount so that you see savings from day one.
Oh, I see. So you're paying your bill still, but it's less than what your old bill was, but more than what you're using now, and that pays off your...
Exactly.
Okay.
All right, that sounds
slick.
good. I know what my electric bills are like, so, But,
right. And I imagine there's so many lights, that makes a big difference.
That's absolutely correct, especially if they're, the old ones or the new ones or so on. And how about it, Matt?
Yeah, got about a minute.
All
Okay,
right.
fine. So,
one quick question.
Go for it.
Or maybe something I'm just thinking about. So, customers who are out there thinking, well, my goodness, I can't hardly pay the energy bill. I certainly can't pay for upgrades. They really should be calling because really it's a lot more affordable to pay for these upgrades through your programs than pay the bill. It sounds like. So it's worth the phone call.
Right.
You have nothing to lose. The worst case scenario, or maybe the best case scenario, depending on your situation, is that I come for an assessment and say, no, you've already kind of implemented everything that you can do, all the measures that are available in the program.
Very good.
I've identified X, Y, Z, and I'm excited to come back to you and share this opportunity. This could save you a significant amount of money.
I think everybody's a little bit leery about some things, saying, I can't afford more, like Dan said, and it's not going to cost you more. You're actually going to save and use that money for better things. Christina, Thank you very much for being on the show, as usual.
Thank you both. Those were great questions.
And I hope they'll go to the chamber and strike on your thing there and get you signed up. So thanks again. We're going on break.
Great.
Have a great day. Hey, we're back from break here on 1400 AM and 95.3 FM Willie Radio. Good company. Thanks to Matt for always making us sound good and keeping us on the air here. And I think we've got to thank our sponsors again. McClintock Roofing, Hartford Healthcare, Chelsea Groton Bank, Greens Landscape and Lawn Care, Eastern Connecticut State University, Fine Fettle Dispensary, Renee's Cleaning Service, Farmer's Cow Cafe and Creamery, Pristine Power Washing, E.S. Eldridge Auctioneer, that's me, and Graduate Stores. Dan, I think you have our second guest, and he's on the line, I believe.
I think he's on the line. So we have Oscar Rivera from Rivera Construction. Oscar, you there?
Yes, I am.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So why don't you tell us a little something about yourself and about Rivera Construction?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for letting me talk a little bit about me, about my company. So this is the first time I've done this. So hopefully I don't get nervous.
You can't be more nervous than Ernie and me.
hopefully we'll make it through.
Right.
So I've been in Connecticut for about 10 years. I grew up in Texas, originally from Mexico. Ever since I came to Connecticut, I've been doing anything related to construction. That's pretty much what I grew up doing. I opened my company here in Connecticut. I've been doing anything related to, it's called hardscaping. That's what we kind of focus on, but we do anything related to remodeling. So yeah, I mean, I've been here for about 10 years.
All right. So
I live in Lebanon.
Yep.
So do you do strictly residential, or do you do commercial and residential, or basically any of it?
So it's mostly residential. I've done a few commercial projects, but it's a little bit harder because I don't have. Usually for commercial, you have to have a little bit of the financial background. It takes longer to get paid, and on the residential, you usually get paid as soon as you finish.
Right.
So
Now,
I prefer to do residential.
Do you have a crew that works with you, or is it just you? I mean, I'm kind of a one-man band and for my business, and have just a couple of people help me out on a Monday night. But do you have a regular crew, or do you just do a lot yourself?
No, I have multiple crews, and that's actually what makes us a little bit better.
Okay.
We have a crew that specializes on interior work. We have another crew that specializes on exterior work. That's why we can do the hardscaping. That's why we can do the remodeling, because different guys do different things.
Okay.
So when I hire someone, I like to hire people that are very good at something. I like to surround myself with people that know more than me. That's something.
All right. So just for the listeners out there, when you're talking hardscaping, why don't you explain that? What's involved with hardscaping?
So hardscaping comes from landscaping. A lot of the people that mow grass and do things like that, their landscaping is usually plants, mulch, but hardscaping is more of the excavation, more of the transformation of a yard, is more of outdoor living, like patios, retaining walls. We add decks, gazebos. Some people do fireplaces. Anything related to outdoors, but it's an actual transformation versus just plants or mulch.
So you run a business and you subcontract out a lot of the different segments of your business. Is that what I'm hearing?
It's mostly my own guys. Some stuff, depending on the trade, some stuff does have to be subbed out, especially if there's electrical or plumbing or anything like that.
Right.
Okay.
But most of the stuff I do like to keep it in-house.
Okay.
Okay. So for your interior, you said some of your stuff is interior. Now, when you're saying, obviously that's inside houses, but do you also do exterior carpentry, remodeling?
Yeah, we can really anything related to a house, whether siding, roofing. We don't specialize as much on anything like that, but we can do, depending on the school.
Right.
But siding, roofing, but interior, we like to keep interior for rainy days, for winter, but we can do painting, sheetrock, just remodeling of houses.
Right.
And things like that.
Now, do you do windows and items like that in your? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Just anything related to remodeling. So, doors, windows, restrooms, kitchens, things like that.
All right. So, I mean, a lot of contractors, they specialize in their single thing. Say, like me with roofing, it's strictly roofing. You're hitting a wide variety of stuff. Why have you chosen that different approach?
I don't like the specializations because I like to work directly with the customer. I like to work with customers that just want to deal with one person versus working with a customer that wants to be the project manager. I want to be the project manager. I want to handle everyone else.
Right.
So I want to come in and they say, okay, I want this kitchen done. Then I get involved with the people doing the tiling, with the carpentry, with everything. So instead of just doing just the tile or just the painting, I like to take over the whole project.
Right. So you're going to see the project beginning to end, the whole project,
Correct.
rather than just portions. Okay.
Now, you know, like myself, I'm an auctioneer is what I do for a living, and most of my is by people who I've done work for. Okay, is what it is. You know, referrals from people I've done work for, and the banks or lawyers or something like that. Sounds like you do the same thing. Is most of yours like word of mouth type of advertising?
Correct. Yeah, I don't. I like this is what I'm doing with you guys. I just joined the Chamber of Commerce, the Wyndham Chamber of Commerce. I've never. This is the first time I've done this. I don't really pay for advertising. Everything that we do is word of mouth. So our customers, our clients, are our advertising.
Yeah.
So usually, I mean.
No, I understand that. To be very honest with you, people, you know, like I said myself, and if you're good at what you do, they will. You know, you don't need to necessarily be out there pounding the whatever papers and so on and so forth. Just the word of mouth has always works. Like Dan does. Dan's as well a word of mouth. So I know that. So.
You get a lot of that. I mean, there's marketing also, but yeah, a good bit of it's word of mouth after all these years. So, do you? So if a customer calls you and they have a project, you go out and meet them and then discuss the project. How does it go from there?
So I like to, the way I am, I talk a lot.
Okay.
So I don't just show up to just talk about the specific, whatever the question they have. I like to look around. I like to ask questions. Why is it that you want to do this? Because let's say they just want to install a fence. I get phone calls for just a fence installation, but I'm like, why do you need a fence? I need a fence because I eventually want to put a pool. Okay, so if you put a pool, how are you going to get to your pool? You're going to need a patio. How are you going to get out of your house? You're going to need a deck. So I like to talk to them about the whole project, not just that specific question that they ask. So I want to know their whole story.
Right. So you end up picking it out of them, maybe even more than what they know at that point.
Right.
Per se.
Well, I think that makes sense, especially like you said, just using the fence as a, you know, whatever. I mean, if they're going to put in a pool, you might have to put in a different size type fence. You maybe have to do something different than what you do. A fence is not just a fence. It's, you know, it's a permanent piece of whatever, and you've got to make it work. So if it's not going to work for what they're doing, I mean, why would you do it? You know, like being a patio, doing the patio, or doing this. What do you want to do? Do you want to barbecue? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? I think there's a lot of. I think it's great that you're going to sit there and talk to them about the whole project, not just we could do a patio and that. Oh, this will take this much money, but there's a lot of you know, thinking that goes in that some people don't think, and or questions you could answer them that maybe they should ask.
Right. Yeah, you need to know, you need to understand, because if you don't just answer the question that they ask, you need to understand the whole background.
Right. Yeah, it probably helps to also plan the particular project they're working now. Is there
anything that this is kind of off the cuff? Is there anything you would say, no, we don't do that, or no, we're not interested in doing that? Have you ever done something like that, or do you really handle most anything?
Honestly, I find a way, and that's just the type of person that I am. I don't like easy jobs. There is nothing to learn when everything goes perfect.
Okay,
sometimes they call me for complicated stuff, because to me that's where you learn. That's where it's fun.
Sure.
And so if I can't do it, I'll find somebody else that can. Instead of just saying, no, you figure it out. I'm like, okay, well, I don't think I can. Well, let's see if I can find somebody that can.
All right. All right. Now, you've done a bunch of projects, different sorts of projects, but, I mean, homeowners come to you, and some of them probably think, well, you know, this is going to be an easy project, and you look and you think, are you kidding me? I mean, there must be projects they underestimate, and you're like, oh, no, wait, you really need to, and you explain it out. What sort of projects are those?
Yeah, just an example, retaining walls. We do quite a few retaining walls, and we've fixed other companies' retaining walls, where we come in and we have to literally take them out and start all over again because retaining walls, there's a lot of companies that think they know how to do retaining walls, but there is engineering involved. That's why usually you have to pull a permit for anything above 3 feet. And the part of the reason of the permit is because there is a lot of information that you need. Sometimes you need geogrid. Sometimes you need. There's a lot of things that go involved, and most homeowners don't know that. Most homeowners think it's going to be something easy, or they can build a patio next to it. They can put their driveway next to it. But retaining walls are very, very involved.
So are there a lot of your projects that you do require building permits for?
Yes, and that's the other thing, that you can get away with a lot of things, but in reality, permits are very important, because permits are not there for the contractor. Permits are there for the homeowners. Permits are there for one, when you pull a permit, just by pulling the permit, they make sure the contractor is licensed, has insurance. So it's to me, homeowners should be asking contractors to pull permits, because just to make sure everything goes better.
No,
Not in everything, but it's better in a lot of situations.
Okay. Now you said you were from Mexico, and then you were in Texas, and now you're here. Is this a trade you learned from being in Mexico and then Texas and here? Or is it a family type thing you learned, or is it something that you just said, "Oh, the heck with it, I'm going to do it"?
No, I picked up a little bit from everywhere. I mean, we've done this in the family too, but mostly just learning. And like I say, the people that I hire, I like to hire people that are good at something. So if I don't know how to do something, and I can find out somebody that I can hire, then we can do that.
Okay.
Okay. So what are some of the projects that people can do that are going to add most value to their home?
Well, that depends on the type of customer, because a lot of people ask that question, but it depends what you're going to do with your house. Are you going to flip it, or you want to live in it? Do you have, is it for you, or is it for your grandkids, or is it for your kids? Like, we need to know, you need to know what's valuable to you. Is value money, you want to flip it, or is value you want to be comfortable? So you need to know that. That way you know where you need to put the money.
Right.
We do a lot of outdoor living projects, and we got a crazy busy since the pandemic, because when people couldn't go to vacations, they started putting all that money into their own homes, and not just on the inside, but on the outside. People wanted to be outside. People wanted to have a deck. People wanted to have a fire pit. People wanted to have just outdoor entertainment. So what will add value to your house is based on what's better for you.
Now, I would think that doing, let's say, sheetrock in a living room or ceiling or something is a no-brainer. Do you do bathrooms and kitchens? I mean, usually those are pretty heavy-duty things to do. And, you've got plumbing, you've got electricity, you've got whatever. Do you do those type of projects also?
Yes, and same thing. In those, we will have to sub out the stuff that we cannot do.
Okay.
But yeah, it just pretty much my main job, it would be more like a project manager, but I would be in charge of the whole project.
Now, if someone, we should ask where someone can get a hold of you. How's that? I mean, are you on the chamber site, are you? Or how would someone get a hold of you? You? Like you said, you don't, like myself, you don't advertise in the paper and things like that. You're just a word of mouth, but how does someone get a hold of you?
So I just signed up to the chamber, so I'm assuming my name, my number, my website, everything will be popping up.
Okay.
I do have a website, but it's really not good enough. But it's just Rivera1.com. And my phone number is just 860-234-4400.
Okay.
Email Oscar@Rivera1.com.
Right. Okay. And you're right down there in Lebanon, correct?
Yeah, just right by Scott's.
Now, if someone called you up and you came and they said, this is what I'd like to do, and you sat down, you spent a couple hours with them, and you came up with a game plan, and then you decide that they really don't have the money or don't want to do it, is there some cost involved there, or just curiosity?
So to actually look at the job, there is no money.
Okay.
I do free estimates in that case. It is free just to look at it.
Okay.
But in order to actually give you a scope, it would be more of an idea of how much it would cost. But to get like specific numbers to actually bring in trades, to actually get more specifics, sometimes there is a cost to do that, but it depends on the scope. If it is just a simple job, simple project, then I can just give you the whole estimate with no cost.
All right. So if there's going to, but if, I mean, sometimes you must have to draw plans and all that kind of thing to get a realistic idea of what the project is for the customers to be able to look at, and then of course assess all your material and time and stuff out of that. That I assume would be a cost.
It depends. It depends on how complicated it is. If it is something that I can do in a few hours,
sure.
I mean, I'm not going to say hours, maybe not too long, then I wouldn't charge anything. But if it's going to be like a day or more than a day,
sure.
Then at that point, it would cost a little.
All right. So,
but whatever I give you, it's pretty much good. That way, at least you would know. That way, even if you don't go with me, if you go with somebody else, at least now you know what all it's going to be involved.
Right, you've got some real numbers here. Okay. Right. Now, what about, all right, technology is advancing for all of us. And in the construction industry, are there things that you're finding that you use technology with more often now?
Yeah. Everybody, I think we're all happy, and we have a love-hate relationship with AI. Everybody's in love with ChatGPT.
Right.
I think it's amazing. As long as you know how to use the technology, it's amazing. It can help us. You can put the plans in there, and it can help you calculate the yardage, the measurement, the whatever that you're looking for, as long as you have a background. Because if you just tell it, like if you just draw the plans and you don't even know what it's saying, then of course it's not going to work out.
Sure.
So you have to have the background, but it's definitely what AI does. It multiplies whatever you already know. So if you don't know anything, it multiplies nothing. But if you already know something, then it multiplies that.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about it that way. The way that
you can see that a bit, though.
Sure,
I mean, I guess I'm thinking about like shade plants and sun plants. But if you put a sun plant in a garden with a bunch of other plants, but some of them end up being taller and such, and next thing you know, your sun plant is in the shade of the other ones. Well,
I see on the internet a lot of times they talk about, do you know where your boundaries are and things like that. I'm sure that you have to deal with that if you're going to be doing an outside escape of some type, hardscape. I mean, and you got to figure out. AI can probably tell you how big our lot is, if you understand what I mean. Did I have that right? AI, or is that what it is?
AI. Yeah. Is that?
Yeah.
There?
I mean, it's with, and the more you know, and I guess when you have a background, it just multiplies. You can. There's so much we can talk about just that alone.
Well, sometime we'll have to have you back on the show. We can talk about stuff like that. I mean, it's kind of interesting how technology really has changed a lot of. I know I'm an auctioneer, like I said, for a living, and I've done it for over 50 years, and now everything's online, and everything's this and everything's that. It's really kind of crazy. So,
well, you know what? On August 19th, the men's group is meeting with the chamber. Ernie, if you join us at Lakeview, and Oscar comes down and joins us, you guys can talk about that night.
Exactly right.
At the men's group.
All right.
Right?
Sounds
Oscar?
Good.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm going to put it in my calendar.
Okay, sounds great.
Here we go.
We're down to our last couple of minutes. Oscar, thank you for being on. You were very entertaining. You're very, you really explain yourself well. So, and don't be afraid to be on the radio. You're not nervous at all, my friend.
Right?
Thank you, guys.
You got it.
Thank you, Oscar.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we're down to last minute or two or so. What do we got? 2 minutes. Dan, maybe we should do a little bit of what's coming up for chamber events.
Sure. All right, so we are having I think we mentioned the ribbon cutting, right?
Yeah.
All right, we mentioned that over at Egg and Cheese. We, let me see what else is coming. Oh, here we go. August 12th, there's a business after hours down in South Wyndham. All right?
I wonder
That
who
is
that
at
guy is,
McClintock
huh?
Roofing.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, okay.
All right.
We're going to have it up
so,
on the roof.
So for
There's
all
a
the
song
chamber
like that.
members out there, it's going to be down at the McClintock Roofing shop on August 12th, 5:30 to 7.
Tell
So
me
that's
where the
gonna be a
heck that
great
is. Is it at
event.
your house or is it?
That's at the shop and my house. It's a commercial/retail.
Oh, okay. I don't even know where you
zoned
live,
lot.
Dan. How's that? You're probably
So-
lucky. I don't even know where you live. So
Oh my goodness! I'll have to have you over.
right there you
All
go.
right, all right. And then, so what about Jilson House?
Well,
What's
Jilson
going
House
on
has
there?
got July 30th at 6 o'clock at the museum. Gwen Bruno, the president of the Preservation Society, which is doing the Inn, Wyndham Inn, will be doing a presentation.
Mm-hmm.
I think they are ghosts in the inn. Oh, goodness, I know there is.
Right.
But we'll need to come in the program to find out. Anybody interested should go to the GilsonHouseMuseum.com and register for this event. And, of course, the Jilson House has Betty Ford on Wednesday, tomorrow night at 5 o'clock for the tavern night is what they got. So, and you know what?
Okay.
They're going to have some kind of a drink, and I'm thinking, well, I don't think
It
Betty Ford
is-
drinks. Or,
no, they're having vodka and tonic.
Oh,
tomorrow
now I
night.
thought she had a dried out
I have
center
no
there, the
idea.
Betty Ford Center.
Well, she did, but before that, I think she had cough syrup. Perhaps. Oh, we're going to get in trouble now.
We sure are. I think we're down to maybe
So,
taking our sponsors. Maybe Dan,
Why
go
don't we
ahead.
do that? Yeah, all right. So we'd like to thank McClintock Roofing, Hartford Healthcare, Chelsea Groton Bank, Eastern Connecticut State University, Fine Fettle Dispensary, Renee's Cleaning Service, Farmer's Cow Cafe and Creamery, Pristine Power Washing, ES Auctioneers, and Ernie Eldridge, Green's Lawn Care and Landscaping, Graduate Stores.
I think
Any
that's
events?
it.
Yeah, I think that is it.
But go to
Any
Chamber,
anybody
find
who
out
wants
anything you
to
got.
has
How's
any
that?
events you want to go to wyndhamchamber.com
.com.
and get registered.
Absolutely. Matt, we all set? Thanks, guy, for what you do down here. All right.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, folks. See you next week.